what you do is you move in, boom, boom. It's boom, boom, bang.
He's 87 years old, but he still packs quite a punch.
You close your...
You still have some punch there. I can feel that.
Showing off his boxing skills, Wes Brynell figures he threw hundreds of punches during his professional boxing career, and trust me, his age hasn't taken his strength away.
Your hands are like this,
Okay.
and then as you punch, you close.
Ooh, yeah.
And that's where you get all your power.
The chatty senior is full of stories, a life spent not just in the ring, but in all sorts of careers with lots of tales to tell.
It added to my record was that I had a total of 136 fights and never lost a fight.
But before his boxing career began, Brynell was in the Canadian Forces. He trained as a pilot, but shortly after the Second World War ended, he left the Navy. He joined the Canadian Forces again as a physical training instructor in the 1950s, and after retiring a second time, spent the rest of his working career as a sports therapist. He worked for the Canadian soccer teams at both the Pan Am Games and the Olympics, and he worked with the Victoria Shamrocks and Cougars.
He said, the boys, the lads, would be happy to have you here. And so the lads were people like Jeff Courtnall, Russ Courtnall, Bobby McGill, Grant Fuhrer.
Somehow, Brynell also found time for music, playing the drums in several bands. He also raced horses, raised 3 children, received the Order of Merit in 1976, and was selected to both the BC and Greater Victoria Sports Hall of Fame.
John Bate, he called me and he says, we've delegated you to go to the Hall of Fame. And so I says, me to the Hall of Fame? And he says, oh yeah, you've done enough.
Needing more help with his care, Brynell is now living here at Sunset Lodge in Victoria.
The staff, the professional people, nurses, and their aides, they're really great, and they've got time for everybody.
Sunset Lodge is run by the Salvation Army. It was built in 1979 as an intermediate care facility, and in 2003 started serving seniors with more complex needs. It's one of many facilities run by the Salvation Army and one that's serving an increased need.
While we're not in the acute care sector as we once were, we still have a keen interest and have always had a ministry to the seniors.
There are 108 residents at Sunset Lodge, and Jennings says they're always full. But he says because the lodge is one step away from the hospital, there is a high turnover, losing up to 35% of residents a year.
We have ordained ministers, pastors who are in this role, and chaplains who are there for the families and the residents during those last days, those last hours, those last moments of their life.
And Jennings says it's important to get the word out that the Salvation Army doesn't just run the thrift store or soup kitchens and shelters.
From the very beginning, preschool, daycares, to helping teenagers who are in trouble, new immigrants coming into the country, all the way up through to senior population.
And with tasty soup and surroundings like this, Brynell doesn't plan on going anywhere anytime soon. He's got a lot of fight left in him. In Victoria, I'm Nikki Ewanyshyn for The Daily.